So I want to do a little variety in my life. Box is working. No card, and actually, in a fitting turn of events, I beat Tron in the 9th round of the PTQ today. Seems a little medium. I think I'm gonna keep it just because, like, if we rip a Knight of the Reliquary, we get to kill them on turn 3 because we have Retreat to Coralhelm. But like, this hand's a good example of like why there's only one Retreat to Coralhelm in our deck for sure. Get Temple Garden here on 1. Is Pikachu a human? I'm pretty sure Pikachu's a Pokemon. When I think of Iconic Masters, I think as a person who doesn't really buy Magic cards, Iconic Masters doesn't have any bearing on my life. Lightning Bolt. Could be anything, likely Valakut. It's a good draw. Play this, play this. Did I say 1? I meant 2. It's just like you never want to draw 2 of this card ever. It's pretty miserable. I guess in like games where like you're like attacking and blocking, drawing 2 isn't the stone worst, but so I'm actually going to be a little aggressive here and path to exile my opponent's Sakura Tri-Builder, because I'm not going to have an opportunity to play this soon, and like pathing a Primeval Titan in this matchup means you're losing the game anyway, so like I'm basically using this path to exile to deal 1 to 2 points of damage depending on if I draw a troop next turn or not. And we did draw a troop, so I'm just going to go ahead and play this Reflector Mage out as a 2/3 for 3. Path to exile boards out in this matchup. Morning, Jonas Bruh. So our Path to Exile was effectively a shock there. We're certainly going to play some Vintage tonight in Wordle. I would love to take a donation. I will never reject anyone's money, but we are guaranteed playing some Vintage tonight because, you know, Vintage is like God's gift to Magic. By that I mean it's like the format that WotC hasn't messed up. Format's sweet. We should probably dredge. We should probably dredge at some point, right? Like dredge and shops, I feel like our Vintage decks I have to get out of the way. Just like need to experience them at least once. See how good we are at mulliganing to Bazaar. And like our opponent's gonna play Primeval Titan next turn and we're gonna die, which is really sad, but you know, we're gonna give it the old college try. Give it the old college try here. I think I'm just gonna do this, and we're gonna retain priority here on our scry 1 and crack our fetch. The breeding pool, put another scry 1 on the stack. Not looking for that. Looking for like Collected Company, right? I guess Knight of the Reliquary is okay too. I don't really think I want that. I'm pretty dead to a Titan, right? Gonna bottom that. I think we'd rather just like have more pressure and like in the event that our opponent is exceptionally unlucky and does not have it. Arena sounds great. If Arena is well done, there's no reason why it couldn't and shouldn't replace Magic Online. If we're being completely honest, I will probably not play Arena if they don't have, what's the word I'm looking for? If it doesn't have a secondary market, and like I have to like do the CCG grind, I'm probably not going to touch it. Have you checked out this article here? I have a very good written intro there. 110% Rogue. Alright, well the good news is we're going to get to scry a lot. The good news is we're going to get to scry a lot. Retain priority, put these triggers on the stack. Alright, 4 scry 1s, lay them on me. Bottom. Basically just like looking for Collected Company, right? This only taps creatures, Just for reference. Let me tap red, tap target creature. I don't think this is good enough, right? This will only give me... That'll actually give me lethal next turn, won't it? Nah, I think I just need company. Like, good chance our opponent just, like, plays a Titan and slaughters us next turn, or, like, Cascade Shift and we die, but... This is, again, like, you know, just one of those things that's gonna happen in Magic a lot, where, like, we kept a hand that had, like, a Path to Exile in it, and these retreats, and we're, like, kind of an interactive hand. Like, this deck's very aggressive and fairly linear, but, like, this hand had, like, a lot of our we've got, like, 10 pieces of interaction. This is, like, a pseudo-threat at least, but, like, our opponent was just playing a deck where interaction wasn't meaningful, so, like, we lost this game just by, like, the hand that we kept. We could quarter our own land during our turn, you're not wrong. I mean, they're gonna... We did just put 4 cards in the bottom of our deck, that's true. But we do thin and then get relook, so I think that's better than a random, actually. Maybe. So what elves? Sure. Assume we're just going to put more lands into play here and I'm going to die. And a Titan. This is my favorite, when they just, like, roll so slowly. It's the best part about Magic Online. Because, like, in paper, I would just look at my opponent and say, show me Primeval Titan and I will concede. And instead, on Magic Online, I have to, like, sit here and wait for them to durdle a little bit. This matchup gets better post-board for us, and I don't think it's strictly bad pre-board, but you, like I said, like, you're just gonna have games of Magic where you just, like, don't get to play because, like, your cards don't line up well and you don't get to make educated mulliganing decisions in the first game. Tireless Tracker is pretty terrible here. We're not really looking to grind our opponent out. I don't think Thalia is good enough. They, like, have a lot of mana in their deck. Let's leave 1 tracker in. It's like bringing Unified Wills and Burrenton Forge-Tender. You crack that window. Yeah. Kind of hot down here. Ten out of 10 playing Vintage before we sign off today. Sunday night's the long stream, so we're gonna get to a lot of it. Seems very good. Doesn't have a Unified Will, but it's got a reasonable linear-ish game plan. Get to play a turn 2 Tireless Tracker, and then start making some clues. So I played this deck in a league last night, and then the PTQ this morning, and I'm... what's the word I'm searching for? I went... I 3-2'd last night and 7-2 days, so I'm 10-4 across those two, so I'm sure we're gonna, like, 0-3 this league on camera and just, like, feel real bad about ourselves. That's how that goes. Alright. So getting our blue sources out here. I think I'm just supposed to company. Storm slaughters Titan Shift. Maddie is in the background here. Huh. Yeah, I think I'm certainly supposed to Collected Company now, because next turn I can go Tracker plus Thalia's Lieutenant and push. What decks are you considering playing in Vintage today? I want to play, I think, Shops and Dredge, depending on how much time we have. I don't know if we're going to be able to get in that many matches, although both those decks seem like they generate kind of quick games. Alright, so we're dead next turn. Got it. Got it. Get it. Got it. Good. We tried. I just, like, on my tombstone, just, like, let it read. He gave it his all. You really think it's trying when you're... The hard-hitting questions by Matthew Mavante. I think it's Champion Knight here. Let's put all the damages on the table. We bottom 2 Unified Wills there. Feels good. Just like we drew it up. That's not helpful. Well, in a world where we take another turn, we could win this game. A world where that is true. In a world where there's another turn happening on our side of the board, feel like we have a real good chance. That being said, I'm not optimistic about our chances. Oh, I guess, I can just Ghost Quarter them, right? It's actually like D's plus, just like take them off the Valakut. Yeah, because I'm gonna kill them next turn regardless, right? Okay, yeah, so we could Ghost Quarter them off the Valakut. I should probably do it now so they don't have an extra mana on their turn. This Ghost Quarter is even gonna make a clue. God bless. Alright. Joy. Can't even cast card off its namesake. Oh no. The gods are very angry. Still almost dead on board? Not quite, right? That'll do, pig, right? This is 13. It's exactly lethal. Welcome to Modern. No, it's more than lethal because this gets +2 from the Thalia's Lieutenant. Not familiar with Vintage. Why is it called Chops? It plays a card called Workshop in it. Yeah, all right. Now my body is ready to die on their turn 4. Mishra's work. Sure, whatever. Mishra's got some messed up stuff going on. Also, so this is the PTQ. I was 41 and I won. So if I get 33rd, I might just sign off and stop streaming. I'm just like gonna be honest here. We're gonna put all the cards on the table and just say that we might be done playing Magic for the night if I get 33rd in this PTQ at 7-2. I might slide out of my chair and just like have to go do something else. I think this is a keep. They mulliganed. This is probably fine. Oh, they mulliganed Scribe bottom. Get better breakers, nerd, right? This is the sagest of advice from Dino. We need to hit a land in the next 2 draws, ideally, so that way we can cast this company. For anyone out there that's new to the stream, I'm not joking. We might just be done. Huh. So am I supposed to play the Forge-Tender to not die to anger next turn? Probably, right? I think their start's slow enough that I'm just supposed to do this. I need this. Well, y'all better hope that I'm really lucky. Or lucky enough to be 32nd. So I played 9 matches of Magic today and won almost 70% of them. I deserve prizes. I am an entitled American. That is exactly correct. Miss your land drop, miss your land drop, miss your land drop. Oh, baby, they missed their land drop. So you're saying there's a chance. Hey, Jet, with the 14-month resubscription. Thank you for the continued support. I do appreciate it. Yes, Forge-Tender is for Anger of the Gods explicitly. For those that are newer to Modern, Burrenton Forge-Tender doesn't do anything against the card Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle itself. It is there explicitly for Anger of the Gods. Slipping in the resub before. Look at Chat. Chat knows how lucky I am. He's like, he's fucking gone. He's got 33rd written all over his face. He knows. He knows too much. What happens if I'm 30? That's the good question. The good, hard-hitting, specific questions. Yeah, you go looking for tomorrow, friend. No, you should play the PTQ events because you enjoy playing Magic. You shouldn't do anything for value. If you wanted to do things that concerned yourself with value, you wouldn't be playing a children's card game. You'd be like working a job. And I said, it's just like, what do you mean get a job? I mean, get a job, nerd. Wait, why would you? I mean, I'll take my clues, I guess, but I'm not sure why you waited. Here's a real question. Am I supposed to save this from the bolt? It's not. Okay. Yeah, that's true. But they might not have the anger, Maddie. Right there. It might not have the anger. I think I wanted to sequence this way so my Thalia's Lieutenant is slightly larger here, because I think there's a good chance I need to Ghost Quarter or like a Kessig Wolf Run or something next turn. It's the same amount of power, it's just like the power is distributed to my Lieutenant instead of my Knight of the Reliquary. That's fine. So that's the downside to sequencing in the way that I did. Yeah. That's what we like to call the nuts in the biz for people. I just attack with all of these, right? Just and the cape, yep. I mean, Hex doesn't eliminate all variants, it just reduces the most frustrating part. Which nuts? These nuts right here. Right here. My will is unified against your people. Your people cannot stop me. Your people cannot stop me. We're gonna be like 2-0 and up a game in round 3 of this league, and I want to post 33rd and just like concede and drop off. So, I should have asked Burgle where this deck list came from. I don't actually know. This deck list came from somewhere. I think it was a Grand Prix. One of my Hex testing teammates has been playing this in Modern, and he said he took a list from a Grand Prix and cut 2 Mayor of Averbrooks for 2 Tireless Trackers. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I've been playing it with the Tireless Trackers. The sideboard's a little bit light on cards for Affinity and Lantern. I kind of wouldn't mind like an Ancient Grudge or 2 in the board, I think. It was a European Grand Prix. 8 matches still left in this PTQ. Can I go from 41 to 32nd? That's all I need out of life. Look at all these people above me that lost. Look at all these 6-3s. Oh, baby. Please 6-3 out of here. I need to cash this Grand Prix. While we're waiting for this next batch to pop, I would just like to say good morning, afternoon, and good night to everyone, wherever you're out in the world. Thanks for choosing to spend part of your day here with me. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a TCG player and content producer. We're hanging out playing some Human Company in Modern. If you're enjoying what you see, please hit that follow button. It doesn't cost you anything, helps other people find my stuff. If you're really enjoying what you see and you want to help me produce more of this content, there's a couple different ways you can do that. The first is by subscribing on Twitch or becoming a patron on Patreon. You can also support my content by supporting my sponsors. MTGO traders would love to buy and sell Magic Online cards with you. Use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout with them. You'll save 8% on your singles orders. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Magic cards with them. InkedGaming.com can help you customize your gaming experience. Using code Jeff12, you can save 12% on their website for custom playmats, mouse pads, and sleeves. You can upload your own custom artwork that you have the right to distribute or select from their own selection of artwork. And finally, SpareDeck.com. They offer kind of a unique service. They will rent you any physical, standard, or modern deck. If you're someone like myself who plays mostly online or you play in paper sparingly, or if you're someone who plays in paper a lot and you change decks a lot because you're a very competitive player and like to be playing the best decks in all formats, the renting is super convenient. I used them a lot last year and I still use them for the few paper events I play here and there. So if you want to try this Bant Human deck, for instance, and you don't want to buy all these cards, you can rent it from SpareDeck. Look, all I have to say is that this Cavern of Souls is going to be really good against Burn. That's what I'm going to lead on here. So this is going to be Human. I want to play Champion on one. No, I'm just going to play Noble Hierarch. If the Noble Hierarch lives, it's like so good for us. This is probably going to be a game where like we lost the die roll, so we lose the game. Is it expensive to rent the deck? It's right around 10 to 15% the cost of buying the deck outright to rent it for a month. It varies a little bit, and the rental cost is determined. All right, well, sweet. We're actually pretty decent against the start. If we were on the play, we'd like chew our opponent up and spit them out here, but because we're on the draw, we're going to be fighting a little bit here. This Thalia is going to do God's work here, hopefully, until they play a green source and cast a Tarkus command, that is. Oh, right, I forgot that's a thing. Please don't attack with Goblin Guide. God dang it. I use the 10 on top of my deck. I'm gonna block the Goblin Guide. Just because, like, I don't think I could take a hit from all of these with a Tarkus command. And if they have, like, Command Bolt, we're just dead anyways, so it's like, whatever. Oh, right, they can't do multiple things because Thalia's slowing them down. Dece. We could still get a Tarkus commanded for, like, all of their mana and, like, be a little bit sad, but then, like, I get to untap and Coco and probably still die, but, like, alright, no command, that's good for us. That's good for us. No Searing Blaze? Helix, sure, that makes racing harder. I'm at 7 now, and Thalia, wait. Oh, right, Thalia lives, because things. I'm gonna play my Lieutenant out here. I'm gonna play this. Our board plan for burn is probably get exceptionally lucky. I don't want to attack with here. It's probably just Thalia, right? Yeah, Champion of the Parish blocks a little bit better. I want to engineer a board state here where we can kill them on the backswing. I have 2 Forge-Tenders, that's true. Forgot about those. Shrine of Burning Rage, sure. That's actually one of the that's the Grand Prix list. Oh, well, that's actually great for us, right? Yeah, it's like medium actually. What? Breeding pool here. Noble Hierarch's decent. So I don't think I want to fetch to 6. I don't have to. So I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this Knight. That's a 3/3 and power up both my Dorkos. I'm going to play this Noble Hierarch and power up both my Dorkos. I think I'm actually going to ship with everything here. I feel like I just need to pressure them, right? So am I dead to Searing Blaze if I do this? They go at land, Searing Blaze, they go land, Searing Blaze this. I take 3, 4, 5. No, I'm still fine that way. Yeah, I think I'm just supposed to crack with everything here. Yeah, hopefully we don't die. This Thalia could easily win us this game. One of the burn lists from the Grand Prix was playing a bunch of Shrine of Burning Rages instead of Eidolon in the main deck. We really don't want them to have creatures. We want them to have like a bunch of like 2 mana cards. Rift Bolt, sure. 2 Rift Bolts suspended, okay. Well, that means I can fetch here, right? Kind of. If I can kill them, I can fetch. And they should be dead, right? Because I can get Kessig Wolf Run. I'm going to fetch Stomping Ground. Yeah, I'm going to fetch Stomping Ground, and then they should be dead. Because I can't cast any spells. So if I play... They're just dead on board, right? They like block this and then take plenty lethal. Because they can't cast anything. Yeah, alright. And it costs mana to activate. Triggers. My humans are here. Rawr, human attack. That's why this deck is sweet, because what you're playing against burn. Get real lucky and kill them. Get real lucky and kill them. Alright, Forge-Tender in. They're probably... Do you think they board Shrine out against me? I mean, like, this is just like random value, right? So, if they don't have Eidolon in their deck, do I want these paths? I feel like I don't, right? Do I want a couple of Unified Wills? Doesn't seem terrible. I've played worse cards. Like, I have one slot here that, like, so we're definitely bringing in one. The question is, like, how do I feel about these Renegades versus other Unified Wills? These retreats probably aren't very good. Like, they threaten a fast combo kill, but, like, the combo kill takes a lot of damage. So, like, they could hit us a couple of times, then we can't actually combo them. But I guess we don't need to take that much damage. We don't have to shock the entire time we're doing that, right? Get rid of the retreat? Okay, yeah, my gut says cut the retreats, leave the Renegades, and bring in 2 more Wills. Okay, like this. This is still plenty of Coco hits here. 24, 32 creatures right there. Yeah. I'm up to, yeah. Alright, fair. Is this hand great? I mean, what do we think? It's more than good. It's great. The Reflector Mages are like kind of medium, but like it's hard to pass up Forge-Tender on 1, really. No, Burn's not super popular. Okay, so if they went Rift Bolt on 1, that means they don't have a creature, right? So I should just play this. Modern's super diverse. The only deck I played twice in the PTQ was Death Shadow. That was one of my 2 losses. I lost to Death Shadow, and I lost to Lantern Control. Please bolt my bird, rats. I could tempo a Lava Man with Reflector Mages here. Suspended another Rift Bolt, sure. I think I want to just do this and then fetch a blue source tapped here. Just like preserve my life total a little bit. Seems like they kept kind of a medium hand. Howdy, Dia Bunny. I'm alright. Or 4 different Death Shadow decks. So such variety, much fun. I mean, they were different Death Shadow decks at least. Got almost 300 people hanging out here already. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Happy Sunday night. Where's that Rift Bowl going? Upstairs. We are fetching to 12 here. Hey, D. Brian, with the $4.99 a month resubscription. Thank you for the continued support. I do appreciate it. Welcome back. Boarded in Path against my Forge-Tender. That's so sad. Actually pretty bad for us. Yeah, you're correct, I know. This fetch is strictly better than this one in the context of this deck. You have another path? You have like multiple paths in your hand? If you have another path, what are you pathing on this board? Nothing, right? Alright, that makes more sense. Sweet, gives my Reflector Mage something to do here. I don't know what that card does. No, that sounds awful. Modern is not about slow, grindy card advantage. Modern is about killing your opponents faster than they kill you. So 0 out of 10 would not recommend trying to grind. Yep, I concur. Alright, we're at 9, so like, they only have 2 cards, one of which is a Lava Man, but they just like rip some burn spells here, they're gonna kill us because we don't have a lot of pressure on the board. Hopefully we just like rip a company into double Thalia's Lieutenant like a professional. Meow. Oh, meow. That's kind of a tilt. Guess I'm attacking with this. Am I just playing this out as a 2-1? I think I'm just playing this out as a 2-1. Yeah. I don't even think I want to get the land back from my discard pile here because I... what's the word I'm searching for? I really want these to be in here for later, and like I have plenty of lands in my hand that I'm already not fetching with. Hey, Nola Gold. Welcome to folks coming over from Jody Keefe's channel. We're hanging out, starting off with some Moderns tonight. We're going to play some Vintage later on. Thanks for hanging out. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. I have 2 cards, neither of which we know. There's a Rift Bolt on Suspend. Oh, right. The Rift Bolt on Suspend means I get to just fetch for free because another burn spell is going to kill us regardless. Grab Hallowed Fountain here. Grab my company. That's not my company. These days we get to bounce their pooper and then play this Avacyn's Pilgrim. And like, if they just draw like straight bricks here, we could kill them. But then we get to play game 3 on the play, so we got that going for us. Definitely have that going for us. We can't grind. What are we even doing here, right? Why are we here? I don't understand. I don't understand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 power in place. We're looking for a Thalia's Lieutenant or a company into Thalia's Lieutenant next turn. I mean, Blur like statistically dead here, right? My body is ready. Searing Blaze. All right. Were they dead? Oh no! We were gonna get them. One more card. One more card. There are not any Mayors in this deck. My buddy cut the Mayors for Tireless Trackers, and Tracker's been good. Mayor's better in matches like this, but I think you have a lot of good tools in matches like this already. You're pretty aggressive. Like, this hand is more than good. It's great. It's a couple of lands, but like, it's got a really solid curve. The, our second land being our 1 Horizon Canopy is like a little medium bias, but I don't think we like pass up turn 1 Wild Nacatl into like more Nacatls against a mirror where we're racing. Yeah, man, this card helps you cast creatures. This card wants you to have creatures. We're basically playing a combo deck. I would love to rip a fetch or a basic land next turn. That's actually pretty good, right? I actually want to play that one. Opponent's deck's often light on lands, so... And like next turn I get to play Thalia's Lieutenant and add 3 more power to the table. And if we hit a resource next turn, we get to like go Champion to the Parish and Thalia's Lieutenant and just like get all over him. You have a Lava Man, that's fine. You don't have a second land. Is that good for me? What do we think? I feel like that might be good for me. We need to dodge a fetch land out of them for a turn here, basically. If they don't hit a fetch land this turn, we're gonna be pretty good. Oh, I guess they can jump and then Grim Lavamancer something down. Alright, and we bricked, so we kept 2 lands on the play, they kept 1 land on the draw, and they hit before us because that's how justice works. If you've watched this stream before, you're aware that there's no justice in the world. So is this deck like better Merfolk? That's probably a reasonable way to describe it. It's very similar to Merfolk. So they get to Grim Lavamancer down the Thalia here, which then lets them cast a 1-mana spell off of their second land if they want. They could mow our team down a little bit here. Hopefully we rip a land so we can get this Reflector Mage going. If we curve this Reflector Mage in the company, we should run them out of the game. Flavor is on point, right? I cashed the PTQ. 22nd place. All the 7/2s cached. God bless. I was worried. I was worried there. Look at that. Look at that. I could even argue that I missed top 8 on tiebreakers because 7 and 2 top 8'd. Yes. Yeah. So this is why giant events suck. So 7 and 2 went from 8th to 27th place. Just like tiebreakers decide who gets to play for it all and who doesn't. It is very miserable. God bless America. My country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of the I sing. I played this deck in the PTQ. We're playing it right now. Should have worked harder to get better breakers, right? You are not wrong. I wonder if they're going to team up a lightning bolt plus something else to kill this champion of the parish. Probably can't attack with this lieutenant. This is probably a fetch, Grim Lavamancer, shoot your Thalia, block plus bolt, trade this plus bolt for my champion of the parish, which like feels kind of bad here. If they hadn't hit this Bloodstained Mire, they'd have lost the game immediately. If we would have hit a land for this Reflector Mage, we'd have won the game immediately. So like a lot of things could have gone better here for us for sure. Then like they're gonna get to activate their Grim Lavamancer again next turn because they're taking the Thalia off the table, and then like this Swift Spear plus their Bolt are going to the discard pile, so they're going to chew up the rest of our creatures here. Yeah, we're actually not in a very good spot here. We needed like, this is what, turn 4? Is this turn 4 or turn 5? This is turn 4. So like we kept 2 lands on the play and like missed through turn 4. Just an old aggro deck that can combo kill. So I'm assuming this is going to shoot down. Nope, Suspended Riftbolt. All right, sure. Can I hit a land, please? It's just a... God, what a... Magic is an interesting game where the better player often wins. Magic is an interesting game where the better player often wins. This might be a little aggressive, like it lets him block here and then activate to kill this. I just don't have a lot going on. The deck list will be posted on my YouTube channel underneath the video once I post the archive. So like, opponent kept a bad hand, got exceptionally lucky. We kept a medium hand, got very unlucky, right? And so I want to talk about what I just said there for a second, because when I say things like that, a lot of times there's like monsters out there that are just like, you're so salty, why'd you have to whine? And it's just like, that's literally what happened here. Like, one of the most important things you can do in a game of Magic is like being objective about the result of the game. And like this game, we kept a very reasonable hand on the play. We kept 2 lands. And then we got till turn 5 without turn 6 without ever seeing a 3rd land. And our opponent kept 1 land on the draw and hit their 2nd land the turn they needed it. And you know, that's just the beat sometimes. And like, if you can't play games like that and recognize that you're going to win and lose games where you make no incorrect decisions, like you really can't play a TCG. Like it's just a thing that's going to happen. If you're not okay with that, you should check out like chess or Go or other games that don't have random elements in them. I mean, getting a 2nd land on the draw happens less than half the time in your deck that probably has close than 20 lands in it. What's the hyper geo on that? Let's assume how many lands do burn decks usually play? 19? 19. So burn deck plays 19 lands. So they've got 53 cards in their deck. They've got 18 successes. Their sample size is 2. You're a little over a coin flip to hit that. Sounds fine. Get to go this on 1 into this on 2. It's 56.8%. Opponent was not on 2 colors or 3 colors. %, sure. And then again, the flip side of that is we have 19 lands. And we needed it by turn 4. So we're 85% to hit ours by turn 4. So the percent of the time where they hit their 70 and we hit our 16 is very low. I want to be clear that if our opponent is playing Lantern Control, I'm not going to finish this match. We're just going to move on to the next one because it's just like, woo, not Lantern. God bless. God bless. We get to actually play Magic.
I was ready.
It could just be like Abzan mid.
American football.
This is okay. So for people that haven't been playing Modern for very long, this is a good history lesson. People used to play this really powerful. This is a 2-mana card that can often have 6 points of power. In the current Modern format, we've largely replaced this 2-mana card that has 6 points of power with a 1-mana card that has 9 or more points of power. So basically, you pay half as much mana and generally get 50% more power. No, I don't think that's strictly correct. I think there's a good chance this dies anyways, and I just want to, like, or it gets Thoughtseize. I think there's a good chance this dies or this gets Thoughtseize, so I just want to fetch a Shockland tapped here. Yo, why would you pay 2 mana trade with the Fatal Push? That just seems silly. Alright, so human on this guy. I think I'm just gonna grab a Noble Hierarch back to my hand since I have this Thalia's Lieutenant. Go to 10 here. They have an Abrupt Decay or something here. If they have a removal spell, they probably want to play it. Yeah. Yep. Okay. That's actually the one I wanted the least. I got to do some extra points of damage there, I suppose. Ghost Quarter is actually decent for us because it means that, excuse me, that we'll be able to make this Knight of the Reliquary quite a bit larger on command here. If they have another removal spell, we're pretty dead anyways, so let's just pass back. It's not that I'm not a fan of Death Shadow, it's just that I think it's silly that Death Shadow is legal and, like, Stoneforge Mystic isn't. Like, if like, let them have their 1-mana 9/9s, but, like, can I just, like, put a Batterskull into play on turn 3? Is that it really asking so much? Is it really asking so much that I want to put a Batterskull into play on turn 3? Block here, I think. I don't think I want to chump with this. Oh, I can chump with this and then rebuy it with the Witness. Can I get a Witness? All right, let's Ghost Quarter their Shambling Vent here. Make my Knight a 5/5. We pathing my Knight? Why wouldn't you path my Knight before I blocked with it? I don't understand. Did you want to, like, induce? Maybe they have a 4-mana card they want to play? This feels like it was good for me, but I'm not sure. Thoughts on Skred? I would like to build that in the future. I think Skred ticks all of the boxes you want to tick in Modern, which is that you want to generate cheesy free wins and get your opponents. If you are into not really playing matches of Magic and just, like, killing people who didn't get to play a game, Skred's great. Yeah, that sequence was fantastic for us. I agree. I feel like that sequence was wonderful for us. Huh. What's my line here? We drew a path for one of these Goyfs. The problem is we got these spirits in the air now, too. I guess I could just path, snap, path, and then... Okay, yeah, that's the line, actually. Yeah, the line is path, snap, path, and then attack them for 3. Hey, Rangolar with the very generous $9.99 a month subscription. Thank you very much for that extra level of support. Thank you. Welcome. So I'm going to go ahead and crack them with this Pilgrim here, and I'm not going to path with this other one just yet because I want them to have one less land untapped on their turn. We could just lose this race to the spirits here. They're at 9. I just miss not getting negated out of the Death Shadow deck. Like, at least for those decks, when they were, like, combo killing us, they weren't negating us, too. They, like, only had discard. There was a 1-mana negate plus discard. You know, it is what it is. Times change. Liliana's pretty good. Especially consider they get to flashback some souls here. Company? Thalia's a lieutenant, you say? Alright, well, I'm gonna play this, and then I guess I just smash them, right? And like hope they draw a brick here. Like they're at 9, and like maybe if we like company into like a lieutenant plus a reflector mage, we could steal this game here. God damn it, Larynx just made my fucking night. Language. Apologies if there are any children watching, but that I'm gonna just scream. That's I'm gonna read this out loud for people that aren't catching the chat. My favorite thing about Modern are the interesting decisions you have to make when you run against a fringe deck that just hoses yours. Like, should I concede there and get lunch, or should I be miserable for the next 30 minutes? What are we playing today? We're gonna scrub out of this league with this humans deck that I've been playing, and then we're gonna play some Vintage. Because Vintage is awesome, and we get to play with sweet, powerful cards. All right, take one. Hey, Dubs777 with the brand new Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Welcome. Man, it's like turn 80 and they don't have Delirium yet? That seems loose. Avacyn's Pilgrim. This is actually a better draw than it appears on the surface because it gives us something to sacrifice to this. You didn't have the card sponsor, would you still play Vintage? I mean, Vintage on Magic Online isn't much more expensive than Legacy, if we're being completely honest here. Oh, crap. They're gonna downtick the Liliana, and that's gonna give them Delirium. They're way smarter than I am. Alright, dead to removal spell here. You know, that's gonna be the theme of the evening. We're dead to X. Oh no, they had X! That's so bad for us. Izzet Staticaster seems great against the Lingering Souls deck. They might also have Dank Confidant in it. Probably want to cut Thalia and retreat to Coralhelm. Sign me up. I have to thank you for keeping on playing Modern, so I'm reminded every time I shouldn't play it. So this deck actually made me some money today, right? Like I went 7-2 in the Magic Online PTQ with this deck, and like that's like plus $30 or something like that. So like if we scrub this league, we scrub this league. On bottom, that Kessig Wolf Run, we're going to go Cavern of Souls, Champion of the Parish. I think the human subtype is more important than the ability to destroy enchantments. Maybe. I think you could probably also argue that like the third point of power in an aggressive deck is more important. I think it's like closer to like the third point of power is more important than the subtype. Although the subtype's not irrelevant. I mean, like, Modern's a fan favorite format because like you can do well with anything in it. Like, everyone's playing some amounts of hot garbage, and like at some point, regardless of the hot garbage you're playing, it's going to run into some other garbage that's equally hot but like a good matchup for you, and you're going to end up winning and feeling good about yourself. I think I'm supposed to shock with this since I drew this path. It's like a little awkward. I think I was actually supposed to play this Misty Rainforest here as opposed to playing the shock land, but yeah, right? We're sitting here playing against abs. This is our punishment. This is the justice we deserve. Like, playing against Abzan midrange could never lose if there were Karns in our deck, getting destroyed while playing the humans deck. Yeah, like I just took 2 extra points of damage here that I didn't have to take. I actually imported the 12 post list to my thing, and I made some changes to the board because it was a little bit light on Storm hate, and there's a lot of Storm online. But like, I kind of want to give this deck a try, and it's actually not 12 posts. There are technically only 10 or 9 posts in this deck, depending on how you're counting it. So now we'll draw Eternal Witness now that they put a Scavenging Ooze into play. God, it is one of those nights, ladies and gentlemen. It is one of those nights. Never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna run around or desert you. Never gonna give you up. This doesn't target lands. This is only creatures, ladies and germs. If you considered being better, it's a good line. Like the being better. There is a collected company on top. We're gonna concede the game if the collected company bricks. Just so we're, if the collected company puts 1 power or less into play, we're gonna move on to the next match, because just like you can't fight destiny, ladies and germs. You can't fight destiny. Oh no! It's a little brutal. It was a little bit brutal there. The Holy Helix Fossil with the 2-month resubscription. Thank you very much for the continued support. Welcome back. I do appreciate it. Oh, baby. Look at all the candy we found. This Reflector Mage and this Thalia. So you're saying there's a chance. That's all I need is a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. Snowball's chance. This actually is really good at helping us push damage here too, because like if land draws equal tapped creatures on their side of the table. What if you hit 2 doubles? That's why I set a power minimum. That's why, because like I knew we'd hit like dork, and people were like, haha, you didn't brick, you hit dorks. That's why I said we need to hit more than 1 power. So many good draws here. That's on the list. Definitely on the list of reasonable draws. I don't think I can actually attack here. What I'd be trading a Thalia's Lieutenant His attack is like really miserable if they have Fatal Push, right? So I think I'm just gonna pass the turn here because like if we just like hit a land, we can tap the Tarmogoyf next turn. Because like trading one of these guys for 8 points of damage is worthwhile, but like see here they have the Fatal Push, so like trading one of these guys for 4 points of damage is like not a good scene. Just be a touch conservative there. Hope to find more companies to gather to ourselves. So they have Path to Exile. Reflector Mage, Company into Reflector Mage. Knight of the Reliquary. My body is ready to be pathed. No reason to attack here. Pass the turn. There's the path. So we do get to scry with this when we hit our land poo here. Love to scry. Scry me a river. Huh. Fun fact, the only sanctioned tournament I ever played Collected Company in, I missed top 16 on tiebreakers. I finished 19th place, went 11-4. Wasn't standard though. Am I supposed to keep this fetch land? That's kind of close, right? Like if it's just like a regular land, we'd like snap this off, putting it on the bottom. Like it's kind of close to the fetch land. I feel like they're just gonna play another creature, and I'm not gonna want this. I feel like our average draw is mildly better than this, and like I say that now, and there's gonna be a Noble Hierarch or a Pilgrim underneath that card, and I'm just like not going to be happy. But I think that's the line. Yeah, they can gain life off the scavenging. So yeah, I think we just need to push more. That's a little bit brutal, opponent. Yeah, 10 out of 10 random draws are better than Scry 2s. If you say anything that's like even close to being a borderline troll on Twitter, I often block you because it's not worth my time to interact with you. That's actually a pretty good hit because it means that this can attack into the Tarmogoyf. Trigger. I mean, Company's the best draw by a lot because Company will put Company's really powerful. It lets us rearrange the bottom 6 cards of our deck, which is super strong. No, it's Scry 2. You play the land and you retain priority to the Scry trigger, and then you fetch, and then you get 2 Scry 1s in a row. So it's not technically Scry 2, but it's Scry 1 followed by Scry 1. And yeah, I think a random card is better than 2 Scries taking up a draw step. Wow, taking that hit for 5 feels kind of greedy to me. I guess they have, how many more creatures are in crypts here? They've got none over there. We've got 2 here, so they can gain, they're like at a virtual 7 here. I guess this can... No, this can't start blocking this just yet. $20 cards worse. I think that's a little excessive. I think most of our creatures are probably fine draws. Yep. All right, so they're dead to a fetch land? Dead to a fetch land. Remember that time I said they were dead to a fetch land? Yeah, magic. All right, we get a game 3, ladies and gentlemen. Get a game 3. Nice Grafdigger's Cage, friend. Am I supposed to have a Renegades in my deck? Is this card supposed to be in my deck against Grafdigger's Cage? Such a tough call. He's getting a third game of Modern, really. That's so close. I think we're just supposed to hope they don't have Cage. I think boarding this in is narrow. Every time I have mulliganed to 7 like this today, I have mulliganed to 5 or 4 cards and just, like, lost horribly. So I'm just going to keep these hands and, like, hope to draw some lands, I think. And we're not going to draw a land, and I'm going to die, and people can say, haha, I shouldn't, but I'm tired of mulliganing to 5. You will never lose a game because you mulligan to 5 if you always keep 7. Fun fact. Fun fact. It's strictly correct. You'll never lose because you mulligan to 5 if you always keep 7. And we bricked and died. Yeah, well. All right. That's going to be a wrap on that one. I mean, it's not wrong if they could see our hand. I mean, like, all the hands are dead to discard. Mulliganing a hand because it's bad against discard is just, like, that's just silly. And that's why, like, the Bob and Weave of playing against discard decks, like, isn't particularly interesting or skill-intensive. You're just like, well, I have to kind of just, like, hope the top of my deck is good because the only control you really have over playing against discard decks is, like, whether or not your hands have lands in them, right? So, like, I could mulligan that hand because it doesn't have lands in it, but, like... And that's one of like the best decks in Modern that are fair are all discard decks. So like the play patterns with and against them isn't particularly interesting a lot of the time. It's like it's a medium minus keep for sure. Like it's exceptionally bad on the play, but like it's probably close to acceptable on the draw. We're gonna play Vintage again tonight because Vintage sounds great. And that's one of those things where like it's a percentage play, and just because you make it and you miss doesn't mean that it's like objectively incorrect, the play that you made, but like it's worth discussing, right? Like was this a worthwhile decision that I made? It might not have been. Like if you run the odds, like what are the chances they have discard versus removal versus we hit? Like it's curving out nicely. Well, I'm 1-2 in this league, but I 7-2'd the Magic Online PTQ with it today. I wouldn't play this deck again if I thought it was miserable. I mean, as far as like decks in Modern go, I don't think this deck is any more or less miserable than most of the rest of them. I think this deck's doing something objectively powerful. I think the tricks you can do with Knight of the Reliquary and Collected Company are like kind of neat and interesting. It has some play to it. Like this is everything I would want in a deck of Modern. What are we going to play in Vintage today? I'm not sure. I think Shops. I think we're going to kick off with Ravager Shops. I think I have Ravager Shops is what I have here. I don't know. I can get cards for almost anything. This is Ravager Shops, right? I want to try this guy. Just a random XO list. You know what feels great if you haven't done it before? Reflector Maging a Tasigur or a Death Shadow while they're holding Stubborn Denial up. You just like take your middle fingers and like point them to the sky while you're like, Stubborn Denial this, nerd. It's possible that I'm supposed to play the Noble Hierarch here as well. I could just like get in 2 points of damage, so I think I'm gonna do that. It's also possible, like, maybe it's right to, like, be a little conservative with how much damage I'm outputting against the Death Shadow deck and, like, try and kill them in one giant swoop. So Vintage just had a pretty massive format change. So there's definitely not a known best deck in the current format. They just restricted Mentor. Reflector Mage? They likely have Stubborn Denial here. It's a touch awkward. I guess I just want to ship here, right? Do I want to ship? If they have Fatal Push, they're taking 6 and going to 2. Yeah, I think this is okay. If they have like Push plus Bolt, I'm going to be sad about this attack. Snapcaster Rage is fine. That's the same as a removal spell. So they're going to eat my 3/3. Oh, I guess they're only eating 4 here, right? 5 altogether. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm supposed to wait there because now I can't Collected Company. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to wait. Yeah, I think I mismanaged my resources here. So I'm not quite sure. So I've only played this matchup this is the 4th time playing it. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to like pressure like I'm doing or if I'm supposed to wait and like try and kill them in one fell swoop. Reflector Mage? Reflector Mage would be a sweet draw. That one's also good. Good, yeah. I guess this is really bad if they have removal, right? So they have removal, I just like die on the backswing. I feel like my chances of winning aren't getting better than right now, and they didn't have removal last turn. Because, like, if they had removal last turn, they'd have played it last turn, right? I think I just want to make them have a removal spell here. I think they almost certainly have Stubborn Denial. Make a Mulligan's commanded here. Feel real bad. That's a removal spell they could have had last turn that they couldn't have cast. We're gonna lose this and lose the card in our hand. Maybe rebuy the Sapcaster Mage. Collected Company is certainly better if we know they don't have Stubborn Denial. But I think the chances of them having Stubborn Denial are higher than the chances of them having removal there. We're dead to second K command, we're dead to basic Snapcaster Mage, we're dead to Lightning Bolt. Tasiger. Alright, dead to Reflector Mage. This is 1 point short, right? I can Kessig for +3 here. Nope. It was a close game. I feel fairly confident that I mismanaged my resources here. We flooded a little bit, and, like, it was still a pretty close game. And, like, yeah. Make this a 5-2. I love it. 1. Every time you finish a game and your opponent has a single point of health left, I'm always like, we must have missed something somewhere, like given up a point. He wouldn't have been able to cast the Mulligan's command last turn. Be on the play here for this game. Easy Mulligan, classic Kessig Wolf Run in our. I guess this is a keep at 6 top. I think I'm just not gonna play the Avacyn's Pilgrim on 1 here. I'm just gonna draw the Misty Rainforest. Yeah, what Rogue said. Bauble and Shadow, interesting. I wonder if they're playing the 4-color configuration. Last time I saw this was definitely a 4-color configuration. I mean, it depends on what if you think if you think you're a reasonable Magic player, you should probably wait to play Standard, because Standard on average is a much lower variance format than what Modern tends to be. So, like, if you think you can play good Magic, I would recommend waiting and playing Standard, because it's gonna be lower variance for you. That being said, like, ultimately, if Magic is a game you should play for fun, not for money. Like, if your goal is to farm dollars, you should get a job, and then use those dollars to fund Magic. Like, none of the formats of Magic are exceptionally profitable. Like, you're much better off going to work. You should play Magic because you enjoy doing it, regardless of what the format is or what the media is. Standard is for children. I hate that egotistical, like, haha, I'm better than the people that play Standard because I play Modern, or I play Legacy, or I play X. I'm smart and thin because I play this other format. It's like, no, you're just an asshole. Like, that's what you actually are. You're not smart and thin, you're just a dick. Like, it's just let the brutal honesty flow. Standard, in general, is more skill-intensive and rewarding if you're a good player than if you're playing a format like Modern that tends to be higher variance. It's all children's card games, too, correct, yeah. So if, like, you're being high and mighty about the children's card game, you're probably a child. I'm relaxed now, I don't have to read your messages anymore. So fetching this is a touch awkward because it means I can't Eternal Witness. It's a pretty decent draw, though. I get to go Noble into Thalia's Lieutenant here. And then, like, Noble provides me double green for next turn. Have I ever played Magic on a motorcycle? Can't say that I have. Thoughts on MTG Arena? I think Arena sounds really exciting and awesome, and I'm looking forward to what it could be. Well, I would like the record to reflect that I tried my hardest this game. I punched the clock and I gave it the old college try. Sometimes your opponent just wants it a whole lot more than you do. You just gotta be okay with that. You just gotta be okay with that. Ripperoni. So they're gonna play a when you need some Hymn to Torok in your life, that's hot. I'm not sure why this is good against me, but it seems really sweet. Stoneforge Mystic is too good for Modern. My opponent just tapped 3 lands and put 21 power on the table. And people will look at you with a straight face and tell you that Jace the Mind Sculptor and Stoneforge Mystic and Bloodbraid Elf are too good for Modern. Like, and they genuinely believe the words that are coming out of their mouth when they say it. So, playing the smaller dudes after Lieutenant is relevant, but it's generally not relevant in matches like this where you want to go wide, and I would rather spread my power out because generally my opponent has 1 very large blocker or 2 very large blockers, and we kill them by attacking through them. So spreading our power out over more creatures is generally favorable to do. I'm going to queue in my last match here. We're not actually going to play it. I'm just going to hand out some free money, basically. I'm going to go place an order for these vintage cards, I think. Yeah, I don't think that Shadow matchup's terrible. I'm 2-2 against it now. I'm 2-2 against Death Shadow with this deck. I played it 4 times. And like we had a bad showing with the deck on stream here, but like I said, I 7-2'd the PTQ with it today, and I cashed a league with it last night. Like, it seems fine. If you're looking to play like a mana dork based collected company deck in Modern, that deck's probably an exceptional choice. It seems very reasonable. Yeah, the vintage content will go up on YouTube after